What's up guys, Matt Ross, RIZKNOWS.com. Today we're talking Nest security cams. So we have the Nest Cam Indoor, the Nest Cam IQ, and the Nest Cam Outdoor. You've probably heard the Nest name before. You probably know that these are super popular cameras. So today we're gonna cover everything you need to know and whether they're worth the price tag. See you guys in exactly 11.1 seconds. Okay, so first up here, we're gonna talk Nest Cam Indoor. We'll tackle the pros, cons, and then I'm gonna pass it along to Jeff, who's gonna cover the other two cams. So the Nest Cam Indoor is a wired security camera that has a sturdy base and fully adjustable design, so you can tilt it or maneuver it however you'd like. You can also set it on a table or you can mount it on a wall, but just remember that it is wired, so you need access to an outlet or need to be able to drop it into the wall and hardwire it. Beyond that, it shoots very clear 1080p footage and even has night vision, which works really well, and it can even tell the difference between a flashlight and proper sunlight. The camera has a 130-degree wide-angle field of view, which allows you to capture entire rooms and more, but again, it still ends up looking very clear when you end up watching the footage. You even have two-way audio, so you can talk to someone that the camera is filming and you can hear them talk back. So when I see D-Pain going for my Coors Lattes in real time, I can give him a little verbal slap on the wrist. But seriously, there's actually a few videos on Nest's website that show people scaring burglars. It's pretty cool. I'll drop a link down below in the description to that, as well as a few other clips that we found that we think are pretty cool. Still, the camera with this two-way audio does have a little lag though, between when you speak and the person hears and vice versa, but still, anyone near the camera will hear you yell at them. The Nest Cam works with a bunch of other devices too, including Alexa, so you can have your lights turn on when your camera senses something, or yell at your Echo Dot to turn off the camera. There's just a ton of cool things that you can do between iFit, Alexa, and Nest Cam. I'm gonna drop a link down below in the description to the list of compatible devices so you can see what else it works with. Now, in terms of storage and how you view your security footage, there are a few different options. First, you can use the free version, which basically gives you access to the previous 3 hours of footage each day based on major events like the camera sensing a person or movements. This will probably be fine for most people, but of course you can still always log in and watch it in real time as well. Or for the second option, you can get the base subscription to Nest Aware, which is $10 per month or $100 if you pay for the full year. Each additional camera is $5 per month or $50 per year. So as you can see, it can get a little expensive, but with that basic subscription, you get access to 10 days of video history, which is essentially the main reason you get Nest Aware. You can also set up different activity zones within your camera's view and get notified when there's motion in that particular zone. I see this mostly for probably people using this more as like a baby cam, but still it's kind of a cool option. You can also create little clips and time lapses to share with family and friends, or to show the Popo, the 5-0, the Fuzz, the
Boys in Blue.
The Boys in Blue. But it actually is kind of cool. I mean, if you do get robbed and you need to show the police, hey, you got some footage. And then you get intelligent alerts, which can discern between a person or a thing. So that way your notifications are always relevant and helpful. And you can set up different users. So if Nest knows you or someone else you've set up as home, you can have it not send alerts or send alerts, whichever you'd like. Basically, it uses your phone's location to know if someone's home. The other plan is the extended subscription, which is $30 per month or $300 per year. The big thing here is that you get a 30-day video history, probably more helpful for business owners or big timers with second homes in Nantucket and the Hamptons, you know, guys like Jeff. No, but seriously, if you have like a cabin or a second home or something, it might be helpful, but pretty much everything else is the same. So that's the Nest Cam Indoor. It's a really good, really easy to use security camera. The major complaints that we do have: number one, pricing. It's about a $170 camera, not counting that monthly subscription. We have seen some deals on it though, so make sure to check out our website, RIZKNOWS.com. The link's right here on the screen, or download our free mobile app for iOS and Android. We all the time are posting awesome deals on smart home devices, whether it's hubs, whether it's cameras, or whether it's bulbs or switches or whatever it is. We got the deals. RIZKNOWS.com is the place. So now that you know about our website, let's get back to the camera, and we have a few more negatives for you. First is that it's basically useless without Wi-Fi, so if that goes out, you're out of luck. And the alerts can also be a little finicky. You get a lot of them and they can become annoying, but I guess it is better to be on the safer side than not. Now, if you want a little upgrade over the Nest Cam Indoor, you can go with the Nest Cam IQ, and if you want a little upgrade over me, you got Jeff Rizzo.
So the Nest Cam IQ is basically a larger, more expensive version of the Nest Cam Indoor, but it does add two really neat features. The first of which is, while it does stream at 1080p just like the Nest Cam Indoor, it actually has a 4K sensor, which is awesome. And that means that when you go to pinch to zoom to look at something in more detail, it doesn't lose clarity. And that's something that I was complaining about with the standard Nest Cam Indoor, and you'll see with the outdoor, when you pinch to zoom, usually those lose clarity. It doesn't happen with the Nest Cam IQ. So I think that's really nice having that 4K sensor. It's not streaming 4K constantly, but it does have that sensor for when you want to zoom in. The second thing is also related to the new camera. It has facial recognition. So in theory, it can discern between Matt and a stranger at his house. And I think that's pretty cool, but it doesn't quite work perfectly. Matt has had to approve his own mugshot 6 or 7 times just because the image was slightly different. It was a different angle, just a little bit. So it's cool to have. I think it's a nice feature. You do need Nest Aware for that to work, and I just don't think it's quite perfected yet. The other thing is it can zoom in and follow people around the room. I don't know how useful that is. I think since it has a wide angle lens, it captures all of that anyways, but you do have that option. Now, one thing we haven't mentioned about the Nest Cams is that they have a motion sensor. So they can say, hey, something is kind of weird that's happening, and they'll send you an alert. I think that's neat, but it's a little bit finicky. So at Matt's house, for example, he's got an American flag right outside his window, and the camera picks it up all the time, and all the time throughout the day, he's getting alerts saying, hey, something's going wrong at your house. He's getting the email and the push notification, and really it's just his American flag waving gloriously in his window. So that's nice to have, but sometimes you get probably too many alerts. And the other thing with the Nest Cam IQ, this is really cool, is that it has a ring of teal LED lights around the camera. So when I go to speak with somebody through the camera, it lights up. So it definitely captures your attention and is a little bit intimidating when you see all of a sudden a camera light up when you walk in the door and you're like, hey, what is going on? And somebody is speaking to you through the camera. I think it'll definitely get your attention. Now, virtually everything else is the same with the Nest Cam IQ. So you still get the two-way audio, as I mentioned. You have 24/7 streaming, so you can always check in on your camera, what it's streaming in real time. You get those major event alerts. And then, as I mentioned before, you have a wide angle field of view, so it's capturing everything. And then all of those Nest Aware plans are the same. So it's kind of cool. You get one camera, you learn how to use it, although it is super easy to use. Maybe you upgrade to the Nest Cam IQ and it's basically the same thing. You know exactly how to use it. You just get that better camera and a few other things. So while I think $300, yes, is very expensive for an indoor camera, I mean, it is bananas, but there's no denying that the Nest Cam IQ is the best camera that they make. But let's move on to the Nest Cam Outdoor, which is the one that I have installed at my house. And yes, I did it myself because I'm a handyman. 2 drills, 1 hammer, 1 mallet, loads of different drill bits, you name it, I got it. 2 saws, I got it all. I was interested in the indoor cameras, but something with having a camera and a microphone always on connected to the internet in my house freaks me out a little bit. Yes, you can turn them on or off whenever you'd like. You can do that on the mobile app or just by yelling at Alexa, but I don't want hackers streaming in, looking at my house, watching me watch The Notebook alone on a Friday night. I just don't want that. Anyways, that's why I went with the Nest Cam Outdoor. It is a weather resistant, super durable looking outdoor camera, and I'm a big fan of it. Like the Nest Cam IQ, it's got that Dalmatian black and white look to it, which I think is pretty sweet. So this thing is basically the Nest Cam Indoor, the original one Matt talked about, but rated for outdoor use. So -4 degrees up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. I actually have it here in Sacramento, and it's 110 degrees out, and it was just fine. As long as you keep it out of direct sunlight, it should be just fine. And you're not living in the frozen tundra where it goes below 4 degrees regularly. For me, 110 degrees, no problem. So this thing brings you all of the features of that standard Nest Cam, including price, so it's right around $170. Only things are a little bit more complicated when you talk about outdoor security. As an example, when you pinch to zoom on the Nest Cam Outdoor, you do lose a lot of the clarity. It does get pixelated. That's not a big deal for indoor, but for outdoors, it can be sometimes hard to identify a person based on their face. And then also license plates of passing cars is just out of the question. I'd love to see a 4K version come out, but for now, you're not gonna be able to pick up any of those license plates or tell somebody that you don't know based on their face. Sometimes it can get a little bit pixelated. And the other thing is you still have that power cable to deal with. It's a little bit bigger of a problem outdoors. Now this one is 25 feet. For me, it wasn't an issue though, because I have a perfect outlet in the attic of my garage, so it was no big deal. But for a lot of people, I don't think it's a plug and play situation. It is gonna require some actual installation, and obviously a little bit more than if you decide to hardwire it. So just note that. And then also, it still does require Wi-Fi to be useful, and a lot of people aren't gonna have the range at their house. So again, it wasn't an issue for me, but just make sure that you check the range by going outside to wherever you want to plant that camera and see if you have like a Wi-Fi on your phone. So just check that before you get this camera. Look, I really like the Nest Cam Outdoor. It's an awesome camera. I'm glad that I have it installed at my house. I really like the wide angle lens. It can actually span my entire estate, all of it with just one camera. That's amazing. And I can even spy on my across the street neighbors. I love the two-way audio. That is really cool. The night vision is big time, very clear at night, oddly clear at night. And I really appreciate those custom alerts, which are pretty cool, and they come in handy for when I want to know when my Amazon Prime deliveries are there. I love messing with the UPS guy, and I'm also a big fan of having that green light on at all times. So if you walk up to my fortress, you know you're being recorded and I don't play. So I think if you're looking for a pretty simple outdoor camera, one that you can install and use, and pretty much anybody can learn to use it, the Nest Cam Outdoor is a pretty smart pickup. So I'm gonna link this guy and the other two cameras down below in the description so you can check them out. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.